Hi everyone, and welcome to another Borderless video. I'm James Guzman, and recently I was able to sit down with someone who's been very influential in my life. In addition to running one of the most successful labor law firms in the United States for 37 years, he's also a very sought-after speaker and an author whose writing style has been compared to a synthesis between Jimi Hendrix and H.L. Mencken. His outlandish style even landed him a front-page story on the Wall Street Journal. You see him there with the long hair and the weightlifting shirt? Yeah, that's him. This will be part one in a two-part series. In this video, we'll talk about his background, why he chose to leave the United States, and why he chose to live in San Miguel de Allende. I hope you enjoy my interview with Jim Karger.
I went through university and law school, started practicing law when I was 24. I more or less recognized at 10 a.m. on the first day I went to work that probably wasn't the ideal profession for me. But by that time, you've put 20 years of your life into something. It's very hard to let go. And so I spent the next, I guess 25, 26 years practicing law in an area that I enjoyed and felt I was very good at. But at age 49, which was 12 years ago, a combination of events led me to decide that I just wanted to shuffle and redeal my life. I lived in a very nice home. I had beautiful cars and all of the accoutrements of success when I was in Dallas, but I didn't feel successful, meaning that financially I was doing well, but other parts of my life were very unfulfilling. And so, as can happen, I decided one day that I would sort of live my retirement dream and move to Mexico, which I began thinking about the first time I came here when I was about 20, I guess 25, 26 years old. And so I asked my wife, what would you think if I just quit? I mean, it was too early to retire. What if I just quit? And we moved to Mexico and we try it out. We do the best we can, understanding that I was closing some pretty serious doors professionally. So then I came down here, went on the cocktail circuit for a while, which everybody does, and figured out I need something more in my life, and contacted a few of my former clients and started traveling back and forth, which is difficult, but I've been doing that ever since. It's a very select group, a handful of people. I don't want to do it all the time, and I don't. I probably take 4 or 5 significant matters a year and do some consulting over the phone. It's enough to do well here, because as you well know, having lived in Mexico a while, the cost of living here is a fraction of what it is north of the border. The other piece of it, in terms of the decision, was becoming extremely disillusioned with the United States government. My law practice, by the way, involves fighting the U.S. government in certain types of cases. So there was no love lost from the beginning, but the real beginnings of the police state became noticeable to me in the 90s. Mm-hmm. I made this decision, by the way, on July the 31st, 2001. A lot of people in retrospect look at what happened and said, oh, it was 9/11, that's why you moved. Well, it would be convenient if that was true, but it's not true, because I made the decision several months before 9/11. to do it. 9/11 only confirmed my worst feared fantasy that the U.S. was devolving into a police state. And that has, over the last 10 years, certainly proven to be true. But it was not the primary cause. That was on December the 31st, 2001. That's when we arrived. Kicked out all of our worldly possessions out of a van into a house we'd never seen before that we rented online. And I remember distinctly thinking, what in the hell have I done?
Yeah, I remember you and Kelly saying that when you first came here, every night you would go through, you'd think about your decision and be on the edge of regret. Like, you know what, maybe let's just pack up and go back there.
Oh, so true. For the first couple of years, there was probably not a single day that I didn't think about pulling it up here, going back to the firm that I founded, and saying, I've made a big mistake and I want to come back into full-time practice. I'm so glad that I hung in there, because my life has become in a large part what I wanted it to become. One where I'm reasonably free every day to decide what I want to do. And San Miguel's become a place where there's a lot of choices. Mm-hmm. And so I have my work, and I have all of the events and cultural activities and friends and the dynamics that San Miguel offers. So it's been a good decision for us.
And I think a great example of what expats can do as far as property goes is what you've done here with this house. Right now we're in Jim's beautiful house here, and when you bought it, the land was much cheaper than it is now, and you were able to sell it off and pretty much build this beautiful house for free.
We came down, and after we'd lived 6 months in the rental house, Kelly saw this ad in the paper for a piece of property, and it was 5 lots contiguous on a corner in the Centro, and we went and looked. It had a kind of a ratty house on it, and then 4 basically vacant lots, and I thought at the time the price was insane. I thought I was being an idiot by buying it. But it turned out that if not the best financial investment of my life, it was certainly one of the best. Because today, I could not afford the property that this house is sitting on. The real estate here has become extremely attractive because of the dynamics of San Miguel. It's become a highly desirable place to live for American expatriates and Canadian expatriates, and now some Europeans too. And the demand to be close to the center of town, where you can walk everywhere you go, as we do, has caused property prices to rise dramatically, because there's just so much of this property available. Mm-hmm. First time I went to Mexico was, I believe it was 1977. I must have been, I would have been about 25 years old then. I went to Acapulco. Very different place than it is now. It was still a Mexican hotspot, a beach town, large but not crazy. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with the whole idea of Mexico. Everything that was happening was something I wanted to happen in my life. It was much more laid back, or tranquilo, as they say here. People were welcoming, for the most part friendly, helpful. You could get pretty much what you wanted as long as you didn't want too much.
Obviously, I enjoy San Miguel. I've chosen to live here. My parents live here now. I have friends here. But I'd like to hear from you why you chose to live here, and maybe a lot from all the changes that have happened within the last 13 years. What do you think about it now?
Part of the problem 13 years ago was it didn't offer much in the way of any kind of services. Restaurants were mediocre. The cultural scene was good, but not fantastic. When I came here, there was no high-speed internet. So, and the cable was all in Spanish, and I didn't speak Spanish at the time, so just didn't. It was tough. It was tougher. We didn't have a grocery store. I mean, we had a grocery store, but it was horrible. In those 13 years now, I mean, we have everything. As you know, we have a shopping center outside of town. We have Office Depot within 30 miles. We've got Costco's. So the shopping scene has changed. The largest mall in Mexico is going in Querétaro, which is 30 minutes away right now. Cultural scene here is out of control. Something every day, usually 2, 3, 10 things. We have 2 5-star hotels in town now. Cannot even keep up with all the restaurants that are opening. So it's a much different and an easier city to live in now, but still maintains the charm and the tranquility that I moved here for. Especially if you live like I am, very fortunate to live inside a compound. And so there may be a lot going on in the city, but you won't hear it here. So when I stay inside this compound, it's very much like living in the country. But I'm 10 minutes away from the dead center of the city and all the activity and the nightlife and the day life and everything. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's where I want to live. It's where I want to die.
Well, Jim fell in love with San Miguel de Allende. If you want more information on this beautiful city, you can find links in the notes below. In part 2, we're going to talk about the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act and what it means for American citizens living abroad. For part 2 and more information on traveling, investing, and living beyond borders, then you can go to my website at borderlessblog.com. Thanks for watching.